Thompson again, and this is the first installment in If Blank is the Holy Grail to trumpet playing, then why aren't we all practicing it? That's basically what the theme is. And so in this particular installment, Claude Gordon. So Claude Gordon is a legend, was a great studio musician, teacher, all-around awesome brass player. And from my resources, he took from one of my best and favorite trumpet players from the early part of the 20th century, Herbert L. Clark. So he took from a guy that I've spent a long time with through books, Herbert L. Clark. Claude Gordon does include some of the most important things, and the process is one of those most important things. So a lot of techniques and routines don't take you through a process. In fact, you might have heard me mention that in some of my videos. You know, if you're not, you can watch 1,000 free videos on YouTube about increasing your power, your range, bettering your technique and tone and sight reading. But there's generally a process that you have to go through. And the Claude Gordon 52-week systematic approach to daily practice actually does have that process. It really does. And the Claude Gordon routine and method does work. So, and how do I know that? Because as a young kid in college, really wanting to improve myself and to make myself stand out over other trumpet players. I'm a classically trained guy. A lot of you guys don't even know that, but I basically was an all-stater several years in a row in Tennessee. That means pretty much #1 in the state, and I was focusing on that. But it dawned on me, wait, there's a million freaking classical players everywhere, and a lot of these guys are good, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to stand out in that arena of thousands of classical trumpet players. What occurred to me at some point, and as I was a teenager, is that most of these classical trumpet players that had fantastic finger technique and tone and tonguing technique and style when it comes to the etudes and concertos did not have a good range, and some of them didn't have a good sound or power. And so after observations, I realized, wait a minute, one thing you could do to set yourself apart from the mass is to have a huge, awesome, great sound, power, range, and endurance. That kind of separates the men from the boys. In fact, it separates the men from most other men in the brass and trumpet playing world. And I think Claude Gordon must have figured that out too, because he devoted a lot of his routines and books to increasing range and endurance and power. A glutton for punishment, I went and bought Claude Gordon's 52-week systematic approach to daily practice, and I laboriously and tediously went through the entire damn book, not once, twice. Twice. If you don't know what that means, folks, that means that I took 104 weeks of Claude Gordon. It's 52 weeks, rinse and repeat. And I got some pretty decent results out of it. My range went up. I don't remember exactly how much. I want to say it went up, but maybe at least a good minor third. I mean, a usable, solid minor third at that point. Maybe it could have been a perfect fourth, somewhere right around there. My sound opened up. My power was there. My endurance was there. So, how come the Claude Gordon routine and method is not the Holy Grail to trumpet playing? Why aren't we all just doing that? Think about it. No Adam, no Reinhardt, no Stevens, no Maggio, no Stamps. Don't listen to Doc Severinsen, Armando Guitala, anybody else, you know, just Claude Gordon only. Well, because you're going to hear this in subsequent tutorials, not one routine or technique works for all brass players. Claude Gordon happened to work decently for me. Was it the crystal, Holy Grail, and miracle pill? No, it wasn't. Because I worked my ass off in the Claude Gordon book. Is it easy to get through? No. Oh, go get yourself a Claude Gordon 52-week systematic approach and flip through it, and you're going to go, oh my lord. It's a lot of long tone, folks. Long tones, pedal tones, long tones. It's tedious. So, but it doesn't contain the process. So for a good chunk of people, the Claude Gordon systematic approach may actually work more than most other routines. So its failing is in its tediousness and repetitive long tones that just don't seem to be that interesting. So you really have to be as crazy and as hardcore as I was back at 18 or 19 years of age to want to sit there and pound away through that and yeah, and do it just like he wanted you to do it. So through the years of messing around with Claude Gordon, actually having dutifully gone through it for 104 weeks and then messing around with it after, kind of tweaking things, I've actually come up with my own way to do Claude Gordon, and it's in my 16-week brass upper register course. Since Claude is not alive, I'm not sure he would approve of the changes that I made in his program. I've changed it enough to where any of the living Claude Gordon disciples, if they were to take a look at it, they would probably say, hey, that's not really Claude Gordon. I've changed it enough to where it has the essence of Claude in it, but it really is not what Claude was teaching, precisely. So anyway, that's the tutorial on Claude Gordon and his 52-week systematic approach. I've figured out a better way and a faster way of improvement with the essence of Claude Gordon. But if you're not interested in that at the moment, then certainly go out and get his book. Put your stand up, put that book on the stand, and look at the calendar. You're going to be doing that routine for 52 weeks. 52 weeks. 1 year. Look all the way through that book. That's a year of hard work. Still, Claude Gordon has the process. I'm Kurt Thompson, and now you know the rest of the story on the Claude Gordon Systematic Approach Daily Practice.